talk about did the Chicago Bears close the gap on Detroit Lions this offseason. They made splash moves. Picked up Keenan Allen. Got rid of Justin Fields. Drafted Caleb Williams. Drafted Romeo Oduzier, I think his name was, out of Washington. Liked him a lot. Picked up DeAndre Swift. Who else they get? Already got DJ Moore, like Cole Kmet. They've been putting some assets into their offensive line. Picked up Montez Sweat in the middle of last season. Paid him. I think they got rid of Eddie Jackson. I don't know why the hell they did that. But I like Jaquan Brisker. Loved him coming out of Penn State, though. That was my dog. So, they made some moves, man. And but the thing about it is, I think with Justin Fields, it was the record. It's what killed them. Him not winning. And then, at the end of the day, them having to pay him $25 million in a possible extension. So if you would have kept Justin Fields, I think Pittsburgh, picked up his fifth-year option for $25 million, and then you would talk about having to pay him. So you could have a lot more cap flexibility with Caleb Williams, to be honest. So that's the ticket. You have more cap flexibility with Caleb Williams. So having that cap flexibility with Caleb, I think, helped them out. Now the question is, really, them closing the gap is the expectation is if he play like C.J. Stroud, I think that's the expectation right there. He gonna close that gap pretty quick, And like I said, I haven't watched a bunch of them. I did watch a lot of him at Oklahoma, and knowing Lincoln Riley's his track record for what he's done with quarterbacks. I mean, Spencer Rattler got to be one sorry mofo, because he the one that didn't succeed. Jalen Hurts, Baker, doing well in the league. I want to say it was somebody else. Did he have Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech too? So, but really depends on him. You can put a lot of assets into a football team, right? But you don't know how they're going to work together. To me, DJ Moore is a really good number 2 receiver. I mean, he might be the best number 2 in the league. I don't see him as a number 1. Keenan Allen is just he killed the Thrasher in LA. Route running great, but up there in age, a little banged up here and there. Romeo Oduzier, he's going to allow DJ Moore and Duzier, whatever his name is, to play the outside. Keenan Allen Brave will go in the slot, and what he going to be able to do with Cole Kmet. But the question is, how are they going to block, for Justin Fields, and are they going to, form the camaraderie amongst the offensive line? I mean, for Caleb Williams, they're going to form the camaraderie, and then defensively, you lose a dog like Eddie Jackson. I don't even know if he ended up picked up. Brisker is really good. He's a really good player. But the question is, how well would these pieces gel together? That's the question. How well will they gel together? It really depends on Caleb Williams, and he's one of those guys with high confidence. And I say this all the time when I speak boxing on my other page. The guys that have a lot of confidence, if you create a chip in their confidence, it usually is going to shatter. It's usually going to create a shatter. Just a chip. And then another little press, it's a shatter. So, having high confidence, that can turn into a liability really quick, or a weakness. So it just really depends on how this is an organization who ain't been quarterback friendly. Now, when I go out there and have them try to be the hero, what we gonna do is hand the ball off. But the problem is, me personally, I never would have got rid of David Montgomery. You going with DeAndre Swift, a guy who historically ain't stay healthy. One of the reasons he probably stayed healthy last year he was back home in Philly, and they had a wonderful offensive line. Y'all don't have that in Chicago just yet. I would probably look to just hand the ball off as much as possible. Allow Caleb Williams to get comfortable, play off the play action. Go to those chain movers and Allen and Cole Kmet, and then eventually we work to the big things. But offensively, they should have done more to get him comfortable. Honestly, to bring in a Savani, and I don't know who that would be, but it just seemed like Chicago it's like a lock on them offensively, other than Jay Cutler throwing around. But am I concerned about them? You're always concerned about people that's in your division. But am I more concerned about them than Green Bay? No. Not at all. When you got the unknown coming, I mean, last time we had two. I mean, who got drafted number 1 the year after last? Can't remember. Not Stroud, but the year before that. It's not too often that you get 2 elite quarterbacks that go top, back-to-back classes, number 1. And it's always a time for that. Not often you get it. But most of the top quarterbacks that you see that have a lot of success, they usually go to teams that's already pretty good and they got a good structure, or they go later. I mean, Joe Montana, 2nd round. Dan Marino made the Super Bowl his first year, slid because of some drug allegations, some drug rumors, slid down to 20-something. Patrick Mahomes, 12, and New Orleans was about to jump up and get him, and Kansas City took him at 12. Aaron Rodgers, 20-something. Lamar, 30-something. Russell Wilson, 3rd round. I think Dak, 3rd round. Tom, 6th round. Who else we going through there? Watson was somewhere was he somewhere in the 10s? Maybe the teens, like, top 10-ish. Who else we got out there? I'm just going through my Rolodex real quick. Jeez Louise. Matthew was number 1. Jalen Hurts, 2nd round. Or Daniel Jones. I can't really use him. Obviously the kid from 49ers who's really, really good. Did a good job towards the end of the game with us. He was undrafted or 6th, 7th round, something like that. Hopefully he get his bread when he eligible. So yeah, I mean, most of the successful quarterbacks, they don't be in the top 2 or top 3. That's the crazy thing about it. So Caleb Williams got a lot of hype around him. Got a hell of I've seen him in Oklahoma, poised, confident. So yeah, I look forward to it, man. Seeing what he can actually do. So, but yeah, hopefully he's successful for their sake, and always root for the brother. But am I worried just yet? No. They put all that together. Now let's see how the coaching staff put it together. I'm not like, oh, they not a threat. Of course, anybody in the division that play you twice, they a threat. So adjusting the plan outside. He from DC. So I got some questions as to how they gonna gel. His personality seemed to be a lot. He started doing this he's corny. I'm just saying that he's kind of corny. And he painted his fingernails and all that shit, man. And he told me I went home and cried there. But he's confident. He's confident. I thought he was bigger than what he was, pause. No, did he? I thought he was like 6'3", 6'4", but athletic, arm angle, accuracy. Just remember him from out Oklahoma. I'm like, I would love for the Lions to get that guy. But it just, it's a lot of things that go into it. As an organization, they got to make sure he's good. So am I like, oh man, I'm not worried about him? Nah, you got to be worried about him. They got a lot of talent. But how's that talent going to gel? That's the question. How that talent going to gel? So, what's so funny is they went out here and got all these different receivers. What the Lions going to do? They got 1,000 DBs. Green Bay going to come back next year better because Christian Watson going to be healthy. I mean, I love Romeo Doubs coming out of college. I love Jordan Love. I was the only one advocating for Jordan Love. Even, I see things objectively. That's why a lot of Lions fans and these Detroit niggas don't like me. They want me to, lie to y'all and tell y'all and pander and shit. Like, y'all can pander, that's fine. I'm not mad at who pandering, because like I said, it's enough space for everybody in YouTube. You want to pander, you want to be logical, you want to be emotional, you want to tell the truth, you want to be a parody, you want to tell lies. You know, whatever you want to do, it's room for YouTube. So I never get mad at what somebody else say, but don't come over here messing with me, because I don't mess with nobody. It's gonna mess with me, because if I see you in public, I'm going to check you straight up and down. One of the dudes said, man, he said, man, you a lot bigger than I thought you were. What y'all think it is? I'm 5'5", like, dude, like, I'm way above average height, like, but nonetheless, I'm be doing my thing. But the thing about it is, there's room for everybody. I love Jordan Love coming out of college. I said, hey, that boy can play. So they getting Watson back. You know, he might just be one of those taller, fast receivers that just got soft tissue issues. You would, for his sake, you would hope not. But Dobbs, and they got the kid from Michigan State. I mean, man, they got a hell of a squad. You know what I'm saying? But for them, they continue to draft defense, and it just don't seem to work. You know, the players that they identify with is just like, you want them to be superstars, and they don't become superstars. So I don't get it. They've been drafting defense for 30 years. You know, and got one Super Bowl to show for it with one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Rodgers. So maybe that say more about Rodgers than anything. And, you know, but yeah, but you know, the Bears, like, they coming. Pause. But when you got an unknown at quarterback, you got an organization that's kind of in transition. You got to learn how to win. And people say, well, you know, you look what Houston did. Well, that's Houston. Y'all ain't Houston probably. That happens once in the blue moon, what C.J. Stroud did. You got to remember, that happens once in the blue moon. You know, but as long as they continue to get better throughout the season, I think going forward, they're going to be a problem. So, but yeah, let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Check out the NFC North playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all inside the link tree. Peace.